want one thing from you. As great as you are, as skilled as you are, as talented as you are, I just want one thing from you. Never allow life to make you forget why you do what you do.
What's good, Just Do family? It's your boy KB, back to get boxing with Just Do. And we gotta address this rumor. It's got the world buzzing, got the YouTube streets buzzing, Twitter, aka X, is buzzing about this, this recent information that just was dropped or released from, Bob Santos, who's Mario Barrios' trainer. And, he said that PBC mentioned Errol Spence as a potential opponent of his in a return for a fight at 147. And I got the whole world buzzing, some people in disbelief because, nobody sees Errol Spence coming back to 147, especially after 2 years. We all know the last time he was in the ring was against Terrence Crawford. Was that 2023, July 29th or something to that effect? I believe that's the correct date. But it's been about 2 years since he's been out the ring. And you're telling me after that long hiatus that he's going to now come back and return to the same weight class where people felt like he was dreamed at to begin with? Just doesn't make a lot of sense. So I don't know what the PVC is telling Bob Santos, and I don't know why they would be telling him that Errol Spence is a potential opponent of Mario Barrios is at 147. I mean, it just seems unlikely that he's going to return to that weight class, despite what any of these guys are saying, man. It was talks of him coming back at 154 and even 160. So the thought of him returning after 2 years with so much time off back to 147, I just think is highly unlikely. I could see the fight being something they could consider if Errol Spence could make the weight, given how vulnerable Mario Barrios has looked in recent memory. We all seen his last fight against Abel Ramos, and he fought to a draw. He started off very, very hot, but, Abel Ramos picked it up in the back stretch of that fight, and he did a lot of damage to Mario Barrios' face and eye, man. He took a lot of damage and punishment in that fight. So, the consensus is Mario Barrios is the weakest champion at 147 pounds. And for that reason alone, and how he looked in his last fight, is the only reason I could potentially see Errol Spence being willing to even risk his health to try to make the 147-pound weight limit. I mean, the guy's 35 years old. He had a significant amount of time out of the ring. He's coming off his first and only loss of his career, but it's a terrible loss over pound-for-pound best fighter in the world in Terrence Crawford. So I just think this is highly unlikely. Yeah, it's a conversation to get the boxing world going and people talking, but I just don't see it. We love Errol Spence, but I don't want to see him sacrifice his body all the way down to 47 if it's any truth to the fact that he grew out of the division, much like Terrence Crawford, who started at 135 pounds. You get me? So Terrence Crawford grew out of the weight division, but Errol Spence didn't. Errol Spence has been there longer. Don't make a lot of sense. So I just don't see Errol Spence Jr. returning to 147 pounds to face Mario Barrios. And there also was mention of a potential Manny Pacquiao being in the mix as well to get a fight with either Mario Barrios or Errol Spence. It's a lot of confusion and misinformation in the boxing game. I'm only here to tell y'all the truth, bring y'all the truth. I'm going to post a quote, came directly from Bob Santos saying, Premier Boxing Champions is telling him that Errol Spence could be a potential opponent of his, at 147. Or it could be a unification between Boots or a possible Pacquiao fight. So what I draw from all of this is it's still very early. Nobody seems to have made a decision yet. Nobody knows what Errol Spence is going to do. I don't even think he knows what he's going to do just yet. So until that gets sorted out, I think we could remove Errol Spence out of any conversations with anybody for right now, because I just think it's highly unlikely that he's going to return, especially if we're not hearing it from the horse's mouth. So that's my just do on it, man. Y'all get in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Would y'all even like to see this fight between Mario Barrios and Spence? Or would you like to see Barrios unify with one of the champions, that being Brian Norman or Jerron Boots Ennis, who just won this past weekend? And as always, get in the comment section. Let me know if I gave boxing its just due, because that's what I do here, Just Do Boxing. To the next one, I'm out. Peace.